Hello everyone. Today I will be reviewing the book Ink Black Heart by Robert Galbraith. As we all know, it's a pseudonym for J.K. Rowling. I actually started reading the Strike series from the seventh book. I don't know why I was really attracted. It's like the book was calling me, and I was not wrong because the writing is so rich and so intelligent that that book was an absolutely good choice. So after finishing that book, I was attracted to the sixth book, The Ink Black Heart. And what I found, in my opinion, the book 7 was definitely genius, but book 6, The Ink Black Heart, is even better than book 7. And the reason why I'm saying this is because in The Running Grave, though the book was interesting, I finished like 50% of it by gradually reading it. I wanted to know what's happening next. But when I reached the middle part, that's when the book really got a grip on me. And I was just hooked and I wanted to know what's happening next. So I couldn't leave it from there. Although the climax, in my opinion, for The Running Grave was a bit underwhelming. I mean, I had my reasons to, not be that impressed with the person who turned out to be the murderer. But, in The Ink Black Heart, I was hooked to this book from the start. Like, the writing style, the stories, everything, all the characters have such a grip on you that you just want to know what's next. It's just drawing you in. So this is what I find great about J.K. Rowling's writing. The her pen really has a lot of power. Although Harry Potter is already an example, but when she's venturing into adult novels, she still has that power, and I was amazed. And although this is a crime novel, it's not, you can't compare it to Dan Brown, because Dan Brown has a lot of intricacies, and he deals with symbolism, etc. But this is fairly good enough. Like, compared to Dan Brown, I think J.K. Rowling, if Dan Brown is 10, J.K. Rowling will be 7.5 and 8 in crime novels. Then the other thing that I felt uh, was like, I was wondering like who's going to be the killer. So first of all, J.K. Rowling deals with the technology apps that we have today in a very intelligent and creative way. So she's dealing with Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, Facebook, Tumblr, and this is a very complex network. Like, there's a troll army, but basically the suspects are 4 or 5, so the stories revolve around them only. And all the subplots as well, the other stories that are going on, are pretty interesting, and you want to know like what's happening, and they do keep you hooked. Like, no part of the book was boring for me. Then the other thing, I have seen some people criticizing the chat rooms, but for me, I think it was genius of her to create something like this, because when we communicate with our friends, we can have 3 chats open at a time. So what do we do at that time? We don't finish conversation with one person completely and then go to the other. We reply, we give some replies here, some replies in the second chat, some replies in the third. So I saw some reviews and people who were getting confused on how to read it. Initially, I was also reading, one chat completely and then coming back to the next. But then I realized, you have to go horizontally. You have to read some portion of the leftmost column, and then she gives some arrows indicating that now the person is replying on the second chat. So you read some portion of that, and then there are arrows again which indicate that she is replying on the third. So this is the part Like, let's say you are reading this, you know, and then this is the indication that go on the other chart. So you will be reading this one. The same way, after you come down a little bit more, there are arrows here. So you read some of this and then you read some of this. It goes that way. Uh, all the chapters in this book, The Ink Black Heart, they didn't end in a cliffhanger. You know, like there's a line in the end, you read it and you're like shocked. Oh my god, this. But in The Running Grave, it was like that. You know, all the chapters end in a cliffhanger. But, you know, that's not a point of criticism, because each chapter in The Ink Black Heart is so intriguing that the chapter itself makes you move ahead in the book. And regarding the plots, you know, there were so many times when I was just guessing. Is it Flavia who's the murderer? Just wild guesses, you know. Maybe it's Josh. And every time my mind used to have a suspect, later on in the story it would get diluted, because those type of aspects would come out which would show that, you know, it's not Flavia, it's not Josh. But ultimately, the person who is revealed to be the murderer, I'm quite convinced, I'm happy, because they did have an upbringing in such a way which could malign their state of mind. Till the end, I couldn't guess who the killer was, and you know, but some portions were a bit predictable for me. Like, uh, even though before it was revealed, I just had an inkling, is Paperwhite a Nomi? But you know, some things happened in the story later on which diluted my point of view. But later on, you know, you will know what was revealed. Overall, it's a very delicate handling of the story and all the subplots, and I couldn't guess till the end who the killer was. So I highly recommend this book. It's really a treasure which I'm always going to keep with myself. I'm a big fan of J.K. Rowling's writing, and I'm into reading her other books now, and I will make videos on those as well. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next video. Goodbye.